What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. Road to 200 subscribers, of course. We're gonna keep it going, and we're at this every day. But I seen a stat where Lamelo Ball is the second fastest ever to hit 600 3-pointers in 200 games, and I just want to compare him to a young Stephen Curry because Lamelo has the highest chance to break Stephen Curry's 3-point record, which seems unbroken. He's still playing right now, don't get me wrong. That record could probably never be broken, but I just want to go through the stats and see how they align, basically. Because as we both know, Stephen Curry, or as we all know, Stephen Curry was an injury-prone player early in his career. And right now, Lamelo Ball, or not this moment, but for the past 2 seasons, Lamelo Ball has been an injury-prone player, and it has been setting back his career. But we're gonna start off with Lamelo Ball. No, we're gonna start off with Stephen Curry. So we're just gonna see how they align. And Stephen Curry's rookie year, he averaged 17.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. And this young Curry showed flashes of why he was drafted 8th. He had a lot of weaknesses in his game, according to the draft experts, but Curry came out with Monte Ellis, and they did their thing. The 2010-2011 season, Curry stepped it up and averaged 18.5 points per game, 4 rebounds, and basically 6 assists. And Curry played 74 games this season before, I believe, he got injured at the start or at the end of this season. But Curry showed flashes in his beginning seasons, like I said, but people doubted that he can actually lead this Warriors team. And ultimately, as we all know, the decision was made, him or Monte Ellis. I think it was in this season or next season. I can't remember the year. But Monte Ellis was a bucket, and obviously he was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks for Andrew Bogut so they can continue to build around Stephen Curry, with them drafting Klay Thompson in the draft that season. In the 2011-2012 season, Curry averaged basically 15 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Curry only played 26 games this season because obviously he had the ankle injury again, and it was no longer a stable fact that he would be the sure answer for the Warriors. He was in trade conversation because they thought he would never be healthy for more than 50 games again in this season. It was both ankles too. It wasn't just one. Like, the injuries were freak injuries too. Like, you can't prepare for what is going to happen on your ankles. But in the next season, where Curry broken out finally with the Warriors organization and fans were waiting for, he averaged basically 23 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. And this is when Curry first made the playoffs in his career. And there's a video on YouTube called "When the Chef Was Born," but he was born this season. He broken out finally, and he was that superstar, or star, if you want to call it, in 2012, 2013. If you're not ready to label him a superstar yet. That's what he was in the 2013-14 season when he made his first All-Star appearance. In the last season we're going to cover, he averaged 24 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. And obviously we know that Curry eventually became an MVP the next season and won his first championship. But Curry wasn't a for sure thing because of the ankle injuries. We never knew what was going to happen next. And once he eventually put on those ankle braces, we found out what he was. He was a for sure guy. But 2014 Curry is underrated, in my opinion. They made the playoffs this season again, and they had a good series against the Clippers, which they lost. Don't get me wrong, but it was fun. But next, we're going to get into Lamelo Ball's first 5 seasons in the NBA, starting off with the 2020-2021 season when he averaged 15.5 points per game, basically 6 rebounds and 6 assists. And Lamelo was the rookie of the year over Anthony Edwards this season, but he obviously ended up getting injured, and he was not the same player. His stats went down, his efficiency went down, and if you were watching basketball during that time, you would know how good LaMelo Ball was as a rookie before the wrist injury. He only played 51 games this season, and nothing else really came from it. And the next season, his second season, he averaged 20 points per game, 6.5 rebounds actually, and 7.5 assists. And this was LaMelo's first All-Star appearance, or his first and only All-Star appearance at this moment. And he led the Hornets to a play-in season. People underrate how much of an impact that LaMelo actually has. People say that he's not a winning player, which is stupid, and that he doesn't care about basketball, which he's grew up on basketball. LeVar Ball has ingrained basketball into his skull. There is nothing else that he thinks about, but people make lazy arguments that he could never be a winning player, or he can't be the best player on a winning team, which is stupid. You just got to put the team around him, and the team was structured around him this season, and we saw why. And in the play-in against the Hawks, he lost badly. Don't get me wrong, but never really got another chance. And then 2022-2023 seasons, when the ankle injury started, he averaged 23 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. And he only played 36 games that season, dealing with the ankle injury, obviously, this season. And LaMelo showed flashes this season, but obviously, as we all know, it didn't get done. And then the 2023-2024 season, he only played 22 games. He averaged 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. And in the month of November, LaMelo showed flashes of what we are seeing now, and whatever is going on in his situation. He's scoring in bunches, leading the league in the fourth quarter scoring, but obviously he ended up putting the ankle braces on like Stephen Curry this season, and he's bound or on track to play the most games that he's ever played in the NBA season since his All-Star season. Right now in 24-25, he's averaging 31 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Bound that the Charlotte Hornets are terrible because his team is all injured, but what can you do? What I want to know is, how do y'all feel about the LaMelo Ball Stephen Curry comparison? Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe.